everybody, John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Thursday, August 12, 2021. Time is 5:57 p.m. Jersey time, a very hot, steamy Jersey time, I might add. And the air is very noisy with cicadas, giant cicadas out there making all kinds of rackets. So if you're hearing crazy noises in the background, that's what it is. Okay, so we have a K-9 Mutt story for you. Blue Zero Hero K-9 Mutt story. Most of you have been following my channel know how I feel about these K-9s. These vicious shepherds that they got, that they employ, the heroes employ to hurt people. These dogs serve one function, and that is for them to use to bite and rip your flesh apart. When you get attacked by one of these K-9 Mutts, you will have physical damage done to your arm or your leg, meaning there'll be a bite mark or shred mark depending on how bad the bite is. And that's the whole purpose of that dog. That dog is there to inflict pain on you, period. And it seems like in most cases they get away with it with these cops, these bad cops. And like all these tools that we give law enforcement, such as stun guns, pepper spray, nightsticks, things that help them with their job, in the hands of a wrong cop, in a bad cop, hands of a bad cop, somebody ends up getting hurt because they use these tools to inflict pain on you. Okay, so we got a story here that came out of, as many of you may know, in your state, at least here in New Jersey anyway. We had a thing called National Night Out. All I know is everybody comes out of the house and goes somewhere, and the police put on a big propaganda show for everybody. They're all out there. It's like a big lily-white event. That's the way I see it. I was working that night, so I was not able to attend any of them. I did want to attend because I knew there was some full of hot wind bureaucrats out there that would be making the rounds, and I wanted to catch up with them with the camera, but it didn't happen. So here we are. All right, so this story here is reported on KMOV4, and this came out, I'm looking for a date here, folks, and I'm not seeing the date. Oh, here it is, August, let me get the glasses, I think it's August 5th, hold on. I'm trying to do these things without the glasses, not easy. August 5th, 2021, it's funny because I had two people message me about it. A personal friend of mine sent me the story and somebody else did. So it reads as follows: 5-year-old bitten by California police K-9 Mutt during National Night Out event. There's a picture of the young lad in the story right there. Now before I read the story, there's been a big campaign going on here in New Jersey. I can't speak for other states because I don't follow other state police departments as closely as I do New Jersey, but there has been an ongoing campaign involving children. And what they're doing is they're taking these K-9 Mutts, these shepherds, mutts, vicious animals that they are, and they're taking pictures with little kids. They take these mutts to the school, and the dogs do little tricks. And these little kids are 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. They don't know any better. They don't know extent of what these dogs are. They think the police are all warm, fuzzy, and wholesome, and these kids are just, you know, impressed or whatever the case is when they see these mutts doing these little tricks. But what the police propaganda machine fails to do is to show the other side of the mutt. And I make it a point to show the other side of the mutt, the K-9 Mutt. Let me read the story, people. Okay, a 5-year-old was attacked by a K-9 officer during a National Night Out event in Pasadena, California. Josh Forbes' son, Sebastian, was enamored with the K-9 South Pasadena police brought out to show off to the crowd. Just remember what I just told you, people. The boy took a few steps toward and retreated, but suddenly the mutt lunged at him. Somehow he locked eyes on Sebastian. He didn't like the look of him or something, and the dog just went straight for him and jumped on his face and was biting him and had him pinned to the ground. Recalled Josh Forbes. Well, Josh Forbes, aren't you glad you brought your kid out and showed him the K-9 Mutt? And, you know, those police are out there to protect and serve you. Isn't that right, Josh Forbes? How much protect and serve did they do to your kid that night? I bet you got a different attitude about the police now. Josh Forbes and the dog's handlers were able to react quickly. Paramedics who were already on scene for the event treated Sebastian Forbes. Now, the kid's going to have bite wounds in his face, but those wounds will heal. The wounds that'll be with that kid for a long time are going to be emotional wounds of being attacked by that dog. The boy was rushed to the hospital. He had a bite mark on his ear and needed stitches near his eye. The cut was so close to his eye, they had to give him ketamine to put him under, Josh Forbes said. So he did this Mutt damn near ripped the eyelid right off this kid's face. The kid's lucky he still got his nose. I watched the video. I have it posted somewhere in one of my videos. Where a K-9 dog is let loose into a guy's house. The guy's sitting in his reclining chair or couch, and the dog jumps right up and gets him right on the face like that. According to Josh Forbes, the family hasn't received much remorse. Don't expect any remorse in the police department, because I'm going to tell you one couple of reasons. One, they don't have any empathy, okay? Just remember this, people. They don't have, police officers as a whole, law enforcement as a whole does not have empathy. Empathy works against what they do, because what they do generally hurts people. Takes people's freedom away, puts them in jail. So you have to do this job without empathy, at least the way they are right now. And so, secondly, they're not going to apologize for it, because that's admitting wrongdoing. That's admitting guilt, and that'll make an open and closed case on the lawsuit. And they'll figure a way to blame the kid. The family hasn't received much remorse or explanation from police other than a call from them Wednesday asking how the boy was doing. I hope the family recorded that phone call. The family said has been no apology nor admission of guilt. There's not going to be. It's not going to be. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen is they're going to threaten to sue. They're going to send them a tort claim notice or however they do it in California. And their legal department's going to make an offer to them, and they're going to settle on it. And there's going to be no admission of wrongdoing, and the family will not be able to talk about the case, and that's it. Life goes on. And once again, the taxpayers will pay for a Blue Zero hero. I was told, hey, you know this was an accident. Accidents happen. Calm down, said Josh Forbes. I just want to make sure this doesn't happen again. Just want to make sure that this is the last kid that dog ever bites. Well, it's not an accident. It was an accident waiting to happen because the handler did not have full control of this dog, and they're supposed to have full control over these animals at all times. South Pasadena police did not respond to KCBS request for comment. They're not going to. Okay. Well, it's very tragic what happened to this kid. Fortunately, this kid he's young and his wounds will heal. He'll probably have some scarring there physically, and he'll have some emotional scars. And just another example of what these K-9 mutts do. I have two pictures which I'll include. In fact, we'll put one up right now. Take a look at that one. That is Nat'l police putting their little propaganda picture up of a K-9 mutt with some kids. And I have another picture here which I'll put up right now. And that is from Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, I think it is. I don't have the picture right in my hand. Showing more pictures of young kids around these mutts. Whenever I see these propaganda stories on Facebook, on these cop Facebook pages, I start posting videos of these vicious mutts hurting people. And I'll refer to one here that happened in New Jersey. This is about 2 years ago, 2019, I believe. We had some bad cops who used a K-9 dog to rip a man apart outside a casino in Atlantic City, I believe it was. That man ended up getting somewhere around 100 stitches. The city ended up paying out $3 million, and I believe some officers got fired, got charged for their behavior. So again, these dangerous animals in the hands of the wrong police, which seems to be most of them, are used to inflict pain on people. Now, I'm not talking about the, I just want to clarify this. I am not talking about the mutts, these little mutts that go around and smell for bombs and smell for gunpowder, or dogs that smell for drugs. Though these dogs are running out of a job, especially in New Jersey because pot is now legal. Or dogs that are looking for dead bodies, those kind of dogs. Dogs that are looking to find a lost kid or something like that. I'm not talking about those dogs. I'm talking about the dog that is purposely trained, where the officer lets go of the leash. And by the way, you know, they're supposed to have these dogs under control at all times. So the way they get around that little loophole is they put the dog on like a 100-foot leash. You ever seen them out in the field when they do the little show? The dog's on a 100-foot leash. In my opinion, that is not controlling the animal. You do not have immediate control over that animal. To me, control over an animal is when the leash is about 3 foot long. So what they do is, I've seen these, I'll see if I can find a video, I'll put it up for you, where they do a demonstration and they let the mutt go, and that dog runs after the guy and locks onto his arm or gets a hold of his leg and just bites down with a couple 100 pounds of pressure and starts shaking its head and ripping the person's leg apart. And it's bullshit, people. It's just another example of how these K-9 dogs are used to hurt citizens. And they cost taxpayers money with lawsuits, because most of these officers they handle, which by the way, they're compensated extra money. Did you know that, people? So when you see Officer Smith walking down the street or getting out of his K-9 car with K-9 Mutt, K-9 Hunter, or whatever stupid dogs they got here in Monmouth County, know that that officer's probably getting an extra $10,000 for that, having that dog on top of his 6-figure salary already. And that's not including all the veterinary help, that care that the dog gets. And training these mutts costs thousands and thousands of dollars. So when you see these pictures and videos on police department's Facebook page of these cute little dogs standing there with the officer who's dressed up like he's going to Fallujah, with a bunch of little kids sitting around, little 6, 7, 8-year-olds standing around looking at the dog with a big smile. And you'll see a little caption down below, "Thank you, Officer Smith, for coming to our school." It's all bullshit, people. It's propaganda. It's part of the propaganda machine that's going on in here in New Jersey, and no doubt across America, because law enforcement knows they're under fire. They know they've been exposed to the crap that they've been doing, and they're using kids, they're exploiting kids, they're manipulating kids to try to change their image. I'm John Van Dyke for New Jersey Exposed. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Till next time, people.
A national night out, an evening intended to endear the public to police, had the opposite effect on the Forbes family.
I'd like an apology.
Josh Forbes' 5-year-old son, Sebastian, was enamored with the K-9 South Pasadena police had brought out to show off to the crowd. Sebastian took a few steps forward and then retreated, but all of a sudden, seemingly unprovoked.
And before I could even get a chance to step back in the line, the dog went for me.
Somehow he locked eyes on Sebastian. He didn't like the look of him or something, and the dog just went straight for him and jumped on his face and was biting him and had him pinned to the ground.
Josh and the K-9's handler were able to pull the dog off Sebastian fairly quickly, and paramedics who were already on scene for the event tended to Sebastian in the ambulance.
There was like blood streaming down his head, and it's pretty scary.
Sebastian was then rushed to the hospital. He had a bite mark on his ear and needed stitches near his eye.
The cut was so close to his eye, they had to give him ketamine to put him under.
According to Josh, he hasn't received much of anything in the way of remorse or an explanation from police, other than a call from them Wednesday asking how Sebastian was doing. Josh says there has been no apology nor an admission of guilt.
I was told, hey, this is an accident, accidents happen, calm down. Yeah, I just want to make sure it doesn't happen again. I just want to make sure that this is the last kid that dog ever...